Asgard.
Forever, forever, ever. Forever.
I think the only part of the movie that I will say kind of took me out of it a little bit was around that stage play time when you get seeing Matt Damon on there and they're performing, and then when they try to go back to actual like Asgard and the situation of dealing with the kids and all that types of stuff, it just didn't feel like I was watching a movie for a little bit. Like some of the emotion, the way it was coming across, like when he went to go get Sif.
Yeah.
And like her I'ma die and go to Valhalla.
Yeah,
That just felt
it didn't
stage
hit.
play. It didn't feel like I was watching a movie, or it felt like it was too satire. It had too much satire in that. So I thought that was a little weird, but then it kind of snapped back in. It took a minute for me. I didn't snap back into feeling like I was watching a movie again until they actually went to Omnipotent City and ran into Zeus. And then I was like, okay, this is back into movie realm. And that possibly could be because they were actually using they weren't using a set.
Right.
So that's probably why I kind of felt that way. But I felt like the acting too, it didn't snap back into.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I think part of that is because where the tone of the movie was at that point.
Right.
There wasn't like a turn after the stage play to kind of like redirect the movie in a different way. It was like you kind of stayed on that comedic beat for a minute before we got back to, okay, now we got to get into some stuff that's semi-serious. It was just kind of like you said, going right into the Zeus scene, and that had like more comedy than anything else in it as well. So I think that was part of it, is just in that particular segment of the movie, the comedy kind of hung on a little bit too long. But it didn't, like, again, it didn't do anything to take away from like the overall aspect of the movie or the enjoyment of the movie. Not for me, at least. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I was still there. It was like, yeah, I definitely feel what you were saying around that time, but it was like once things kind of got picked up again, it was like, okay, we good. It didn't feel like Canto Bite. Put it like that.
Right.
It definitely ain't feel like Canto Bite.
No, it didn't. It didn't at all. You know, we gotta talk about them goats, man.
Oh man,
them goats.
They were the goats of the movie.
Yes,
man.
The whole time.
I need to go back and watch that movie because I just want to see how many times they slid them yelling in there. Because I swear it was like times where it was like totally off screen and you just hear them. I could not help but crack up every time I heard like them goats scream, bro. It was hilarious.
Yes, it was freaking hilarious every single time, dude. Like, especially when you first run into them in the very beginning, it's like, oh my. After a while, it was like, oh my god.
Yes, but it was hilarious though, because it was like, it was as annoying as it was like they would catch you with it in like right at the right moment. I swear, because like I feel like towards even in the climax of the movie, there were parts where it was getting real serious, and you would hear them go to the background. He like, bruh, did I just hear him go scream again, bro? Like,
right.
Serious, man, it was hilarious.
I dare you to do it again. Like,
right.
Come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, they would definitely go. The homie Star Wars MCU OG is like those goats. My eardrums. Hey, they definitely did. They definitely did. I thought it was hilarious when they ran into that planet, though.
Oh man, that's what I'm telling you, bro. It was just like that scream, bro. Like the scream got me every time.
What'd you feel about seeing Eternity?
Perfect. Like, I love the idea of them introducing Eternity, because people are saying, oh, well, this doesn't connect to, you know, the larger story of the Phase 4. Just keep watching. Just keep watching. Because this is perfect. The way that, and giving Eternity kind of this persona where like Eternity grants wishes and whatnot. Like this, you have to kind of think about it as chess, not checkers. And say, okay, well, if Secret Wars is coming, then how are they going how is Secret Wars going to resolve itself? Like, are they going to go the comic route, or how are they going to kind of fix that? Well, I think we're starting to see the groundwork laid for that by bringing in Eternity now. So it's like, it's real loose the way this puzzle is fitting together right now, but it's starting to come together real nice. And I love the accuracy of Eternity in terms of the way that they decided to design the character in the movie. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was used just the right amount. It wasn't kind of like leaned into too hard. They didn't go too crazy cosmic with it. I thought it was kind of cheesy, just slightly cheesy, that Gore's final wish was, you know, his daughter to have a second chance. I mean, but that's, again, with these Thor and Guardian stories, that's kind of the vibe. So you know that's kind of what they're building up towards. But Eternity specifically, man, thumbs up for me, bro. I was with it. What about you?
Facts. Yeah, I like the way that they made it look when they actually got into, like, through the threshold and went through the light, and you see Eternity there. I thought that that image was dope because it had that 3D look with that 2D feel. I'm not sure if that's how to explain it, but it kind of gave it just enough of that ambient look to where it's like it still lets your mind, even though you can see the shape of how they wanted it to look, it still lets your mind wander. Like, is that what Eternity would look like? You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
thought that was dope. And like, this is the biggest drop. I think this is obviously the first visual drop that they've had for Eternity, but they've mentioned it a couple of times before. And it always made me wonder, is like, how are they going to play Eternity out? Are they going to make it a actual character that has a voice that speaks and moves? Or are they going to treat it like how they did? Are they going to make it something that's kind of a fixed place in their universe for people to be able to go to and convene with? And, you know, obviously we got the latter, and I'm totally fine with that. And that's and with the being that they can play Eternity off to be, they can always bring that back and play it off in a different way in the future, you know. So I think that's going to be totally dope now that we've gotten to see how they plan on using Eternity in the MCU, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future to try to bring that back at all. I don't know if it was like, I don't know if I felt like it was cheesy to me. I think because, you know, how I am with the whole real world endness of it. I think at that point in the movie, that was the best logical way to kind of wrap that up, is because they kind of made Gore, I'm not gonna say omnipotent, but they made Gore like a clutch. He was definitely a clutch character, you know. He'd be getting knocked around by 2 and 3 and 4 different people, and then somehow he'd get away, and in the clutch he was able to get Stormbreaker to open the door in the first place. And then he's getting knocked around by Thor, and in the clutch he's able to beat him up, and then he's able to beat up Jane Foster and still be able to get through the doorway. They just made him, like, his determination unfathomable in ways. So like, the only way that you could actually defeat a character like that is to try to reach whatever humanity they have left. And I didn't think that was a bad way to do it, considering the fact of, I mean, he was right, honestly. You know, he wasn't really, even when he ran into the gods in the beginning, he wasn't looking for anything other than acceptance and love from the gods that he's prayed to. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And because he was rejected, and especially in such a harsh way, I mean, I don't think anybody would go on a killing spree vendetta, but when you're in that particular situation and means come to you in the way that it did, I mean, yeah, I'd probably be like, well, shoot, this feels like what I need to be able to get rid of y'all, so we could probably get some good people around doing some things in society. But I digress. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
That's what's up.
Him choosing to bring his daughter back because you know, give her a chance. And that was a good tie-in for Thor. Give him some responsibility and to fulfill the arc that he was trying to get some love, man. That's really what he was on the out there looking for too, was love. So that's why he recognized that. So I thought that was pretty dope.
Yeah, no, it definitely fit the story. I think, you know, to your point, I don't think there was a better way for them to end this particular story. I just think that kind of the same way as with the gotcha death, when you see that theme as prevalent as it is in Disney movies, not just the MCU, but also when you look at Star Wars, it was kind of the same thing with the sequel trilogy. And it's just like, it starts to get played out when you see it as much. because I feel like had I not seen these same kind of things play in, even going back to like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you had that same kind of redemption type thing going there as well. And it's just like, okay, look, it's cool, I get it, but that and the fake out deaths, man, it's like once you start to see it so much, you like, bro, it's taking me out of it. It's taking me out of it. But the thing about this movie, I think, is that again, it was the ending, and it was kind of one of those situations where you kind of look back at it and go, okay, well, what else could you have done at that point that would have made sense for that character? And I don't think there was anything else. So I can't hold the movie responsible for the fact that like there's an overabundance of the tropes that made this movie good. So no, I'm not gonna hold it against it like that.
Let's go. Forever, forever, ever. Forever.